Hey, peace family, I don't know what happened. So we're gonna start over. We're gonna start over. And I'm not gonna be long because it's money time. Y'all see what time it is behind me, right? Y'all see what time it is behind me? It's money time. It's time for me to get that money. You know what I'm talking about? My apologies. I don't know what happened, family, so I said I'm gonna start all over again. I'm gonna start all over again. If you in the building and you ain't give your brother a thumbs up, shame on you, man. I'm taking time away from getting this money to talk to the family. Yo, can I get a thumbs up or what? If you in the building, can I get a thumbs up or what? Nah, I don't know what's going on. I got like 4 or 5 bars. So I'm not sure why the stream went. It might go again. Maybe we dropping too much heat up in this bad boy. I don't know. You know? Anyway, I'm gonna start over. So for those of you that haven't been paying attention, the new spiel for the conscious community now is to attack Israelites over DNA. If you haven't taken a DNA test, then how do you know you're an Israelite? Well, first of all, as usual, the hypocrisy is amazing to me. You Negroes call yourself Egyptian and everything else and haven't taken no damn DNA test to compare yourself to Amun-Ra, Amenhotep, or nobody else, okay? You guys haven't compared your DNA to Seti. You haven't compared your DNA test to anybody in Egypt, right? But you have the audacity to tell us that we have to take a DNA test to prove that we're Israelites. First of all, let me tell you why that's pseudo. I said it in the last video, I'm gonna say it again. If you are using DNA testing solely to tell somebody who they are, you're a pseudo. Let's use the Native Americans as an example. We were taught in school that the Native Americans crossed a land bridge and came over to the Americas. That's what we were taught. We were taught that Native Americans crossed the land bridge from Asia and came over to the Americas. And yeah, we about to get money. You see where I'm at, so I'm kind of talking quick because I want to go get my money, right? Yeah, we were taught that Native Americans crossed the land bridge and they came over to the Americas, right, from Asia. When you look amongst the Native Americans, do you see Asian customs amongst the Native Americans? The Native American purification customs, do those come from Asia? Their marriage customs, do those come from Asia? The high holy days they keep, do those come from Asia? The language they spoke, do those come from Asia? The archaeology that they found amongst the Native Americans, is it predominantly from Asia? I'm talking about, when I say Asia, I'm talking about China and all those places today we call China mainly, etc., Mongolia, etc. Does the archaeology and anthropology amongst the Native Americans match what we were taught in school? The answer is no. But the conscious community, who likes to call everybody else pseudo, is going to take all the primary sources and resources that have been found, and they're going to throw it in the garbage and tell us that we only can know who the Native Americans are based on DNA. That's what they tell us. Okay. When you look amongst those of us that come over from West Africa, right? You have oral traditions amongst the West Africans, especially in Ghana, amongst the West Africans that say that they migrated from Israel to West Africa. That's an oral tradition amongst the Africans. Now, the conscious community say we should return to our African roots and our African traditions. Then the minute you bring up the oral traditions amongst the West Africans that say we come from Israel, they say that's pseudo. See, these guys are playing games. And we're not playing games. You guys have no basis to talk to nobody about, no methodology or nothing, because your methodology is false. You cannot prove who someone is based on DNA alone. Now, I might have genetic markers that might match somebody somewhere in West Africa, in the Congo, or in Ghana, or in Liberia, or someplace like that. I may have genetic markers that match those people in that geographic area today, but you cannot prove that those people didn't migrate there from somewhere else before. So that my markers, my genetic markers matching their genetic markers doesn't prove who I am. These guys are playing games. Then when I begin to ask them, okay, what does these companies do with your DNA when they're finished with it? Y'all see I'm wearing my Game of Thrones hat. I don't care what y'all say. I know some of y'all don't like the Game of Thrones. I rock with the Game of Thrones. How many of y'all know the Game of Thrones is based on the War of the Roses? The series The Game of Thrones is based on a period in history called the War of the Roses, loosely based. And that was us. But that's another show. That's another show. Yeah. Anyway, because Ghana is a modern name, Sean Dent. Ghana is a modern name. So DNA testing cannot tell you who you are. You might find genetic markers that are similar to people living in certain regions within Africa, and that might tell you where one of the last places your family was before you were kidnapped and brought to the Americas, but DNA does not tell you who you are. It does not. I was watching the video a couple of minutes ago on Sanet's channel. He had a brother on there who I actually like. And the brother said that the real Jews are the people of the so-called Jews that live in Yemen and Iraq, based on DNA. Yet, when I go and I look, one of the oldest synagogues in the world is a synagogue by the name of Dura Europos. And the archaeology that was found in Dura Europos was taken and it was put in a museum in Damascus, Syria. And when you go and you look at the images on the wall, particularly the image of Moses leading the children of Israel out of Egypt, crossing the Red Sea, and the archaeologists say this is one of the oldest synagogues in the world. When you go to the Damascus Museum, and you look at that image of Moses leading the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, they don't look like the people that's from Yemen today call themselves so-called Jews. I'm so sorry. They don't look like the people in Iraq call themselves Jews today. I'm so sorry. The archaeology speaks for itself. But what the conscious community does, they take the archaeology and they throw it in the trash because the archaeology backs up what we teach. The archaeology backs up what we teach. They take the archaeology, throw it in the trash, say we're pseudo, and tell me to go take a goddamn DNA test. So I went and did some research. I want to know what the hell these crackers is doing with the DNA test when they're finished with it. So I went to African Ancestry. That's one of their favorites. Go to African Ancestry and take your DNA test. So I went and I did some research. African Ancestry claims that they destroy the DNA tests once they're done with it, or unless the law says something. If you go and you read the frequently asked questions, it'll tell you that they will use the DNA test up to a certain extent with the law, and then another part will say that they destroy it. So in other words, they'll destroy it unless the government asks them to give it to them. If the government was to ask them to give it to them, guess what? They'd give it to them. So El Elohim asked me, how do I know that I'm a Hebrew Israelite? I know I'm a Hebrew Israelite, number one, based on prophecy. That's number one. Also based on, as I said before, there are all traditions amongst my ancestors that come from West Africa that say that I came, that we were Israelites. And let me say this too, to Elohim and to everybody else that's watching this video, because this is a very important point. This is a very important point. Pay attention. Pay attention. This is a very important point. If I took a DNA test, the DNA test most likely is going to lead me somewhere to Africa. Somewhere in Africa. Possibly West Africa, maybe Central Africa. Here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with that. Did all the slaves that came to the Americas in the 15 and 1600s, did all the slaves come from Africa? I'm going to ask the question again. Did all the slaves that came to the Americas, did all the slaves come from Africa? Let me help you. No. The first blacks to come to the Americas were free blacks that came from where? Spain and Portugal. When the Moors were overthrown in Spain, Ferdinand and Isabella kicked the Moors out of Spain. And their cousin, King Philip, I believe his name was King Philip. I'm winging it right now. Y'all can Google it, whatever. Their cousin, King Philip, kicked the Moors out of Portugal, and a lot of them came over here to the Americas. So they didn't even come directly from Africa. Some of us came from Europe. Will the DNA test show that? Will the DNA test show that? No, it won't. It won't take any of that stuff into consideration. That's how we know that it cannot tell you who you are. It cannot tell you who you are. Now, Israelites don't have a problem with DNA. I don't have a problem with it. See, if I was accused of a crime and the police said they were going to do a DNA test, let's say somebody came forward and said I raped them, God forbid, and they said they were going to do a DNA test to see if I raped a woman, if there's any traces of my semen or sperm or whatever in a woman, I would have no problem with them doing that DNA test to see if I committed that act. I have no problem with that. If a man came forward, if I wasn't raised with my father or my mother, and they came forward out the blue and said, hey, I'm your long-lost father, I'm your long-lost mother, and I don't believe them, and somebody said, well, hey, go do a DNA test, I would have no problem with that. I would do it. I have no problem with that. But when you tell me DNA can tell me who I am solely, absent archaeology, anthropology, linguistics, keeping in mind migrations, etc. When you take all those factors out and solely base my nationality on DNA, I'm telling you that you're pseudo. I'm telling you that you're pseudo. So now I ask the question, because I'm about to go, like y'all see, it's money time, right? See, it's money time? It's money time right now. Spending some time with y'all, though. I asked the question before the live stream cut off. I'm gonna ask again. My brother Dwayne Yosef said that he did a DNA test, and the DNA test he took, the stream ended before I could get his answer. So I'm gonna ask y'all, brothers and sisters, in the comments. You could also comment later if you watch this video. Have any of y'all done DNA tests? And if you did a DNA test, what did it show you? I'm just curious. We're going to do a whole show on this subject. I think that it's a very, very important subject for us to discuss. I think DNA is very important for us to discuss. So I'm going to do a show on that. But I'm not going to do it in the conventional manner that the conscious community wants me doing. They want to talk about autosomal DNA and all that. They think we don't know about that stuff. They think we haven't taken those stuff into consideration. For some reason, the conscious community in 2019 thinks that we don't read, we don't study. So we're going to do a show on that. But with everything that we're going to do a show on, the question has to be begged and answered. Can a DNA test really tell you who you are? Can it really? What about all the people from over here that repatriated back to Africa? Everybody knows that history, don't y'all? Y'all know that history, right? You had a certain amount of Israelites that went back to Africa and settled in what today is called Liberia. If I took a DNA test that says that I'm a certain amount Liberian, does that mean that that's what I am? You see what I'm saying? It's not taking into account a lot of different things, you know? Hey family, my bad. I don't know what's going on here. It seems like I got a bad connection. I don't know what's going on here. So, listen, I'm about to get out of here. Obadiah Yedida, that's a good one. We're gonna do a whole show on this whole DNA thing. I'm gonna try to bring some guys on like Divine Prospect and anybody else that wants to come on the show. Email me Maccabeestv@gmail.com. Maccabeestv@gmail.com. You can email me. I apologize for all the technical difficulties. Like I said, I'm in the gym. I don't know why the reception in here keeps cutting off. Whatever. That might be a sign I need to get my behind in there and get up under that leg machine, man. You know what I'm saying? My goal is to be doing 9 plates on a leg press machine, 9 plates on each side. I'm at 8.5 right now. So in another month or two, man, I'm gonna be at 9 plates on each side, family. You know what I'm saying? Got to build up that lower body strength. The lower body strength, when you build up your lower body strength, your bench press will go up. Your bench press will go up if you build up your lower body strength. All right, so make sure that you work on your legs. Y'all brothers with the chicken legs that come to the gym, you do damn chest and arms every day. Make sure that you hit your legs. Do squats, hack squats, leg presses, etc., and build up the strength of your legs, and you'll see everything else be built up as well. You'll see your bench press go up, etc. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, so we're definitely going to do a show on DNA. I would like to do that, but I'm not going to do it the way the conscious community wants us to do it. Because as I said before, if you're solely based on who somebody is on DNA, you're pseudo. Don't y'all know that there has been more Israelite archaeology that have been found in the Americas than anywhere in the world? I'd like to know how the conscious community explains that. I'd like to know how they explain that. Where's all this ancient Oriental archaeology that they should be finding over here if these people are Mongolian or if they're Asian or whatever? Like, where is it? It's all foolishness. All right, family, that's it. This joint done cut off for me one too many times. That's it. I appreciate y'all. I'm definitely going to go get that money right now. I'll let y'all know how it was. Maybe one day I'll bring y'all in the gym with me. You know what I'm saying? I'll bring y'all in there with me, man. Y'all can see what we do. I have a couple of videos with that online already, but, you know, we get it in. With that, shalom, family. Most High bless each and every one of you. I'm out. It's your brother, Priest Danyaahla. Shalom.